You are watching KAVU 25 News Now weekends at 5:30.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Adam Seibel. A shocking discovery this morning at a public bathroom near a youth sports complex. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick has more. Adarius?
The department has confirmed a body was found in a bathroom near the Victoria Youth Sports Complex this morning. A maintenance worker located the body inside a bathroom during a routine cleaning at 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Officers say the body was a 41-year-old transient male from the area. Victoria Police Department continues to investigate the situation, and we will continue to update the story as information is provided. Adam, back to you.
Thank you, Darius. Here's your viewer poll this evening. You can scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. Should the city of Victoria allocate more funding into helping the homeless population? Yes or no? Let's take a look at these results here. Let's see, we don't have them right now, but if you come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate, we'll have an update for you and your neighbors tonight at 10. A new Texas law went into effect this weekend. In Texas, convicted drunk drivers will be required to pay child support if they kill a child's guardian. House Bill 393 went into effect Friday. It says the convicted drunk driver will be expected to make payments to the child until the child is 18 years old or until the child graduates from high school. Republican Governor Greg Abbott signed the bill in June, and Texas state law defines intoxication manslaughter as a person operating a motor vehicle in a public place. That includes an aircraft, watercraft, or an amusement ride, and their intoxication causes the death of another by accident. A 15-year-old has died after being hit while crossing East Red River Street and Navarro. Friday night around 8:25 p.m., Victoria police officers responded to East Red River and Navarro in response to a crash involving a car and pedestrian. Their investigation revealed a 15-year-old male was crossing the intersection westbound when he failed to yield right-of-way and was struck by a northbound vehicle operated by a 43-year-old. The juvenile was transported to an area hospital before being transferred to an out-of-town hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. VPD said there were no citations issued. All right, it's time to talk weather on this Sunday night. We're going to check in with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Howie Gordon to see what the rest of your week will look like. Howie, I'm hoping for some cooler temperatures.
A little bit cooler. I mean, here we are just 96 degrees, Adam, where we have been over 100 almost every day of the year. Then you throw the heat indices, we are pushing 115 a lot of times. Now, we're cooler. We have some areas of drizzle, but I don't think any of this weather has altered Labor Day plans in terms of grilling out, going to the pool, going to the beach. So yeah, we are cooler, but not much of a difference. Still right now, the real feel, or these are the future real feels, excuse me. Yeah, we're staying in the lower sides of the 100s. Overnights getting down into the upper 70s to lower 80s. But we've kind of cooled down a little with cloud cover and rain, but we will start to warm as the week moves along, and we could have a few more storms or at least some light rain showers. We'll touch on that in my full forecast coming up in just a bit, Adam.
All right, thanks, Howie. We do have the viewer poll results here. So that question again, should the city of Victoria allocate more funding towards helping the homeless population? 58% say yes, 57%, so it's changing right now. 57% say yes and 43% say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote for all those viewer polls. Now to the urgent manhunt for an escaped murderer in Pennsylvania. Authorities urging residents to be on the watch and where he's been spotted.
The Chester County, Pennsylvania District Attorney's Office releasing this home security camera footage, saying it's the most recent image of convicted murderer, now fugitive, Danilo Cavalcante, since his escape last week. Authorities asking for the public's help in tracking him down, saying that's Cavalcante seen moving through the bushes, then out of sight. The footage taken at 1:44 a.m. yesterday in a rural part of Pennsylvania just north of Delaware, in the same town as the prison he escaped. The video prompting a surge of local, state, and federal law enforcement to an already massive search.
We believe that he's in a certain area. It's a heavily wooded area.
Recently sentenced to life in prison without parole for stabbing his ex-girlfriend to death 38 times in front of their children. The 34-year-old was awaiting transfer to a state corrections facility when authorities say he broke out of Chester County Prison Thursday morning. He was then spotted about an hour later in this photo, walking down a nearby road wearing a T-shirt and jeans. Officials still reviewing how he escaped and warning Cavalcante, who was also wanted for murder in his native Brazil, should be considered extremely dangerous and a fugitive with nothing to lose.
I believe he will do anything he can to escape. You should not approach him, but if you see him, you should contact 911 as soon as you do see him.
Grab your cell phone, scan this QR code. That's a quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can watch us anytime, anywhere, and get breaking news alerts and vote on our viewer polls, learn about our ongoing contest, and submit news tips, videos, and photos. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 5:30. Torrential rains have left tens of thousands stranded in a remote stretch of desert at the Burning Man Festival in Nevada.
We could see some more showers before it's all said and done in terms of our Labor Day weekend. We'll touch on that coming up in just a little bit.
Of thousands of people stranded in a remote stretch of the desert at the Burning Man Festival, which takes place in Nevada. The flooding and mud making it nearly impossible for people to leave. One death has been confirmed, and now attendees are being advised to conserve food, fuel, and water.
Many hours of rain.
Attendees at the Burning Man Festival in northwestern Nevada have been told to shelter in place indefinitely, people being advised to conserve food, water, and fuel.
They shut the water down. I'm walking around helping pull power cables out of the ground.
More than 60,000 people travel to the Black Rock Desert every year for the Counterculture Arts Festival, gathering in what's known as Black Rock City to make art, dance, and enjoy community. But torrential rains have turned the area into a muddy mess, stranding tens of thousands of revelers. Images posted on social media show people struggling to walk through the mud.
There are plenty of good people that are going to make this work out for everyone.
More than a half-inch of rain is estimated to have fallen on the festival, with more rain in the forecast for Sunday. Roads now impassable. Authorities shut down the entrance to the campgrounds for the remainder of the event, which ends Monday.
We might not be leaving here until Thursday because it takes usually two full days for the playa to dry off.
Though some are doing what they can to try and get out. Music star Diplo posted this video to his social media accounts saying he and comedian Chris Rock walked 5 miles in the mud before being picked up by a fan. In a statement, organizers of the event say they have confidence in communal effort and civic responsibility, writing, Burning Man Project has been facilitating Black Rock City and Burning Man for over 30 years. We have done tabletop drills for events like this, adding we are looking ahead to our exodus as our next priority. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Scattered thunderstorms brought heavy rain and significant flooding to some parts of Las Vegas over the weekend. Strong winds and lightning were also associated with the rounds of storms. Cars could be seen driving through the dangerous flooded roadways. According to officials, there have been dozens of calls for swift water rescues in the valley. At least 13 of those calls were in the city of Las Vegas. Even the famous Las Vegas Strip was flooded. Some areas received more than 3 inches of rainfall. Slight storm chances remain in effect for today for much of that area. A U.S. official tells ABC News that the next U.S. aid package for Ukraine is expected to include depleted uranium rounds. Those rounds helpful in the fight against Russian tanks.
According to U.S. officials, armor-piercing ammunition containing depleted uranium for Abrams tanks and other fighting vehicles will be sent to Ukraine for the first time by the U.S. The Abrams tanks are expected to be used on the Ukrainian battlefield soon. The munitions, which could help in the destruction of Russian tanks, are part of a new military aid package that's expected to be announced next week.
It's very effective as an anti-tank munition. That's because it's very dense. It's a very dense metal. And upon impact with an enemy tank, it has a self-igniting fire-producing effect. So it's very useful to punch against enemy armor.
President Zelensky is pushing back against those who say the counteroffensive is moving too slowly, saying Ukrainian troops are moving forward. According to White House spokesperson John Kirby, Ukrainian troops appear to be making notable progress against heavily fortified positions in the south in a push aimed at splitting Russia's land corridor to Crimea.
And in the process of doing that, also isolate Crimea, the Crimea Peninsula, which is a Russian stronghold. And they do that isolation by way of cutting the supply lines that resupplied Crimea. So this is a very important initial step towards breaking the Russian defenses.
Russia, meanwhile, has targeted the Odessa region with 25 drones. Ukraine says it downed 22 of those, but its Reni port bordering Moldova and Romania was damaged. At least 2 civilians were injured. Britt Clennett, ABC News, Kyiv.
Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy delivered remarks while touring destruction in Maui. McCarthy surveyed the disaster areas affected by the deadly fires and got a chance to observe firsthand what happened. The Speaker of the House met with federal and local officials involved in the recovery efforts. More than 120 people remain unaccounted for, and additional names were added to the list. While delivering remarks, Speaker McCarthy reflected on the damage he witnessed during the aerial tour and touched on recovery efforts, noting that all of the issues will not be solved overnight. However, McCarthy says he has spoken with local officials to make sure Maui can, quote, rebuild in a smart way. Now, indications into how Alex Murdaugh may be seeking an appeal. The disgraced attorney convicted of killing his wife and younger son reportedly appears to be focusing on the jury that delivered the guilty verdict.
This morning, ABC News has learned the defense team for Alec Murdaugh, the disgraced former South Carolina attorney found guilty of murdering his wife and son, will hold a press conference this Tuesday about their plans to appeal that conviction.
All right, Mr. Murdaugh, I sentence you to the State Department of Corrections on each of the murder indictments.
In March, Murdaugh was convicted of shooting and killing his wife Maggie and youngest son Paul. They were shot multiple times. Murdaugh is currently serving a life sentence. His lawyers already filed notice they planned to challenge his guilty verdict, but haven't yet laid out their legal argument. In an interview just this week, Murdaugh attorney Jim Griffin saying as part of their appeal, his team interviewed jurors in the case looking for bias, saying there are serious questions as to whether this jury was subject to outside influences during the case.
Appeals are extraordinarily difficult to win. The question that I'm sure the counsel for Alex Murdaugh in this appeal is going to argue is there's no way that this small town in South Carolina where this family had such a prominent name, there wasn't a person in the area that didn't know the Murdaugh name.
Similar claims about an allegedly tainted jury were made by Murdaugh's eldest son, Buster, in a new Fox Nation docuseries, The Fall of the House of Murdaugh.
It's an absolutely excruciatingly difficult experience.
Breaking his silence, Buster also saying he doesn't think his dad killed his mother and brother, but adding he believes his father has some psychopathic qualities.
I'm not prepared to sit here and say that it encompasses him as a whole, but certainly I think there are characteristics where you look at the manipulation and the lies and the carrying out of that such, and I think that's a fair assessment.
For more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Estrain will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them.
We'll talk Labor Day weather as well as we'll continue to track the tropics. That's coming up. All right, happy almost Labor Day. So cooler temperatures. Yeah, we're already seeing that now. Slight rain chances, warmer later on. Why is it cooler? High pressure moved off. We're seeing a little cloud cover, a little bit of rain. What that high tends to do is push down on the atmosphere. That's a warming effect. What it's looking to return later on in the week. So we did hit 100 today. Okay, we got back into the 100s, 7 degrees above average. Not enough for a record. Look what happened in 2000, 105 degrees. Here's our radar. Now, similar to yesterday. Now, what happened today? Now, there are storms pulling away to North Texas. That'll create a little bit of lift our way. Then you got destabilization from the sun with high pressure not right overhead, creating a little bit of lift. Then you got moisture and the sea breeze moving in. So, yeah, we're seeing a few pop-up showers here and there. Most of the activity, again, taking place to the north and off to the northeast. So, a little bit less active compared to yesterday, but we didn't have a washout by any means yesterday. A few pop-up showers here and there, and we saw a little bit of the same. But these numbers, look, they've come down, even though we're seeing a little moisture move into the area. But you're going to see these start to elevate later on in the week. High pressure is going to come by. What does that mean? That usually dries things out, but the little bit of moisture that does move in, that high is going to trap that moisture. And with that moisture being trapped, we'll start to see those uncomfortable, not that we have comfortability by any means right now, but some of those oppressive days, really oppressive days we've had, those are looking to return. So for the most part, yeah, we're getting over 100 again with our heat indices, but they just haven't skyrocketed where they were skyrocketing, for many, many weeks. But hey, we're starting to get 107, 106. That's starting to heat up. Just a few days ago, we were 111, 112 in some spots. And looking ahead, here is what we have. Yeah, so we could be getting back to those 110, 111, 112, maybe getting back to some of those heat advisories, maybe potentially some of those excessive heat warnings. Here's what we got. Similar to yesterday, we have the storms present, the moisture moving in, that high's out there off to the west. But it's slowly going to make its way back. Maybe by Wednesday or by Thursday, when that happens, high pressure again going to really start to enforce higher temperatures, trap this moisture, and again, those heat indices potentially going to be on the rise. We can have a few showers between tonight and tomorrow, but I'm keeping chances at 20 to 30%. Not a washout. Some areas staying completely on the dry side. But here's our future tracker. Okay, a few showers, but look at this. Most of the viewing area right here in this shot, 75% staying dry, just not going to be a washout. Some areas might not even see the rain because a lot of it wants to stay off to the northeast. So for the most part, nice weather. We're pretty much Labor Day all the way through the weekend. A few pop-up showers. I don't think it changed or altered anyone's plans for celebrating the holiday. 94 for the water, seas 2 to 3 feet. That'll keep us a little bit on the choppy side. All right, what's happened since yesterday is our storm Adelia. Yeah, that is kind of fizzled out. No more. Now at about 50 miles an hour, we have Gert. That's really headed, see my path here, but still going to fizzle out. And then Katia, only at 40 miles per hour, really not looking to do any damage. We're going to fizzle out. But hey, we'll keep an eye on this wave, this open wave. This open wave is looking to turn into a tropical depression by the middle of the week. And from there, hey, we'll continue to track that system and see what's going to happen. Overnight, 75 degrees tomorrow. Here we go. That's what we got for Labor Day. 98 degrees, 20% chance of showers, a little bit on the breezy side. Later on in the week, we should start to warm up. If winds pick up, we could be dealing with some fire weather later on in the week. But again, for Labor Day and into Tuesday, Wednesday, we got 30-40% chance we see some showers again. Does not look to be a washout. Most of that activity staying off to the northeast and along the coast. For more weather news and sports, you can go to our app. That's at crossroadstoday.com, and that is free with any Android and iPhone. And now we go to sports with Zach.
Thank you, Howie. We will recap some high school magic and the Astros still chasing first. That's coming up in sports. Well, our game of the week over at Industrial saw the Comanches and Cobras in a battle back and forth. These two went some very clutch defensive plays from both sides. Insane offense from both sides. It's a shame that someone had to lose. In the end, Industrial squeezed out a victory with a few seconds remaining. Shiner falls to 0-2, but their rebuild seems to have taken a step forward. Down the road in Edna, the Cowboys welcoming the Black Cats of Bay City. Early in this one, Edna clicking, eventually scoring on their first drive of the game. They would eventually trail 21-7 after this, but they would pull out the 28-21 win. The Cuero Gobblers hit the road against Navarro, got the win 35-7. Very efficient game. They scored in every quarter en route to a 35-7 victory. Huge game coming up this week against the Yoakum Bulldogs, who are looking as dangerous as ever. A dominant win over the Cameron Yeomen. This week is going to be a fun one in Cuero when these two rivals meet. Cuero honoring the 1973 team this week, celebrating 50 years since their state title. The Refugio Bobcats got a big win over the London Pirates. Refugio ranked number 2 in the state of Texas in Class 2A, and another big game on our hands this week. The Edna Cowboys, the Refugio Bobcats, we are in for another exciting group of games. Be sure to follow us closely in our CFL coverage. Now from the high school level to the college ranks, the Texas Longhorns were down 3-0 early, but do you know who that is? That is former Hallettsville Brahma star Jonathan Brooks with Texas's first touchdown on the year. Longhorns beat the Rice Owls 37-10. And keeping it in the Brooks family, this is Dalton Brooks with the hit in the backfield. Big hit from the star out of Shiner, Texas. They also saw Reuben Owens with a few nice runs in his first game. The Aggies would have their way with New Mexico en route to a 52-10 victory. Upset alert, TCU, who was in the national championship game last year, taking on Deion Sanders' Colorado squad, and Deion Sanders silencing a lot of doubters with a Week 1 statement victory over the Horned Frogs. His son Shedeur Sanders in at quarterback threw for a school record 510 yards. It's Week 1, but let the early Heisman talk begin. Well, the Texas Rangers got a big win earlier this afternoon, and that's bad news for the Houston Astros, who got beat at home last night by the New York Yankees. The AL West race was flipped upside down with the Mariners in first place. Can the Astros get a win tonight and tie with Seattle atop the division standings? We'll see. First pitch is at 6:10. And, of course, it wouldn't be football season without telling you guys that the Oklahoma Sooners got another win. Adam, back to you.
Yeah, pretty tough win. I think I saw the coach was crying on the...
Yeah, he was. 73-0 will do that to you.
Oh, my gosh. All right, thanks, Zach. Stay with us. Coming up, a new Mississippi state record for the longest alligator harvested has been set by a group of hunters. We invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus, which you can find on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. A new Mississippi state record for the longest alligator harvested has been set by a group of hunters. Mississippi residents Tanner White, Don Woods, Will Thomas, Madison, and Joey Clark captured the longest alligator ever to be recorded in Mississippi, according to the State Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. They harvested a male alligator in the West Central Alligator Hunting Zone. The alligator weighed in at 802.5 pounds, over 800 pounds. It measured 14 feet and 3 inches long with a belly girth of 66 inches and tail girth of 46.5 inches. The world record alligator, measured in 2014 in Alabama, had a length of 15 feet 9 inches. The 2023 alligator season in Mississippi opened on August 25th and concludes September 4th.
That is ginormous.
Yeah.
That's almost like Nile crocodile size. I mean, I've been attacked by about a 6-footer, probably nowhere near that. So it hit my raft, but
wow.
Yeah, you just showed us that raft. I don't know how you were able to live in that. You guys, you should post it on your Facebook page. It looked like a pool toy. And,
I was in the Everglades, and I was out there feeding chicken to a gator, and Ooh, I was almost part of the menu, but thank goodness it did not happen. But hey, Labor Day weekend, here's what we got for Monday. Most of that activity looks to stay off to our northeast. Maybe a few showers along the coast, but 75 overnight tomorrow. Here we go for Labor Day, 98. I only got a 20% chance of showers. Looking ahead, eventually we dry off and warm up later on in the week.
All right. Thanks, guys, and thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Have a great week, everyone.